for true health, physical, social, spiritual, and economic health. Consume this content every week with positive energy and good intentions. Join me, Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game, and my starlit queen Sinclair, the health nerd, and share this with those you love. You are strong, you are beautiful, and you are ready to live your best life. Hey, we got it. What is going on, beautiful, amazing, powerful people? Welcome back to another amazing and impactful episode of the True Health Forever podcast, where we shall live our best life through the lens of holistic health. What were you pointing at?
I thought you were looking up there. I was trying to remind you that we're using this camera.
Oh, I appreciate you. I wasn't, but I appreciate the support in there, Queen. We do have a new setup, which I'll get into in a second after I introduce the beautiful, the supportive, the innovative, the smiling, the queen-rific health nerd. Please introduce yourself.
What's up, everybody? My name is Sinclair, aka the Health Nerd, and here joining you on a Sunday afternoon.
Yes. So if you're watching, if you're listening, it may look a little different, it may sound a little different. We are trying to invest. No, we are actively investing in the podcast. And that time I did do it. I was definitely looking up at the
I'm
camera.
like, I'm pretty sure you're looking at the wrong
time.
camera, but
It's just it's muscle memory. But we're investing right inside of True Health Forever, inside of the podcast, to make sure it's a better experience for you all. And this person that we got on, I think is going to help take your business to the next level, and it's going to help take our business to the next level as well. Y'all know that the queen has officially become a full-time entrepreneur. Yes, round of applause. You were just waiting to click that button this whole time. But with that, right, a struggle before and probably throughout your whole entire entrepreneurship journey is going to be, what do I post?
It's such a struggle. It's such a struggle for me.
It's a huge struggle.
I don't know if it's like, I don't know if like personalities, I'm pretty sure personalities have something to do with it too. Of like, I get on social media and I'm like, okay, I should post something. I'm like, it's almost like writer's block was like content block of like, there's so much to post. I don't know what to post. So yeah, I'm looking forward to myself learning from our guest today for sure.
I need you to ask selfish questions.
Oh,
like literally, like as you're going through this interview, and this is part 2 with brother POP, passionately on purpose, right? The 9-to-5 creator. Been doing some dope stuff on social media. We had him on round 1. We're gonna bring him on round 2 to really zoom in on, what do I post? How do I post it? Who am I posting it for? When do I post? On what platforms do I post? All the questions Sinclair's gonna ask them. You can ask them live as well. Sinclair, are you ready?
Are you ready for some podcast?
All right, we're out. Yeah. Oh, so the queen was feeling herself with those vocals. Oh, but there you go, right there. POP, what's going on?
What's going on, family? What's going on with you? What's going on with you?
Yeah, blessed over here. Thank you for taking the time to come on back for round 2.
Absolutely.
For the people that missed round 1, can you give them a little introduction? Who are you? Where you're from? And what do you do out here in these streets?
Listen, so I go by the name of POP, right? Because I believe in living passionately on purpose, and that's in every aspect and element of my life. And I am the 9-to-5 content creator. And the reason how that came about is because I'm a 9-to-5 worker, but also building a personal brand, building a business, and leveraging the power of social media and messaging through content in order to do just that. So I thank y'all so much, Queen. Thank you, King. Appreciate you. I'm really excited about getting into this discussion.
Oh, most definitely. Let's get into it. So I want to start off with the mistake, right? Can you maybe share the biggest content creating mistake that you've made over the years, or that like maybe clients that you work through, or there's people that you see on social media, and you're like, ooh, I wouldn't do that, man. That's a bad move.
I would say being too scattered. I tell people all the time, if your social media is a portrait, if you will, or your body of work, right? That kind of tells a story of who you are, what you offer, and what solution you have to solve a problem. If someone comes onto your page and one day you posting something about your dog, and the next day you posting something about your breakfast, and the third day you posting something about a foot fungus, ain't nobody going, nobody is going to be willing to stick around. Why? Because the thing about it is that you may very well have the solution to their problem, but because you're not laser focused, they don't know who it is that you are. They don't know that they cannot identify with you and identify with the solution that you have. And the saturated social media is, they're not going to stick around. They're not going to stick around to figure it out. They're going on to somebody else. So I would say the biggest thing that I tell my clients, the biggest thing that I personally had to work through was getting laser focused and making sure that everything that I was posting was cohesive, and also was very clearly demonstrating, very clearly portraying what it is that I offer to my audience.
Beautiful. We starting off spicy. We starting off heavy, right? If anyone out there, you have a business, you have a personal brand, think of questions that you have, even if you're watching on the replay, go ahead and put those in there. But I have a follow-up, but I do want to say, Queen, do you have anything before I keep it going?
Well, and maybe I don't know if this is your follow-up or not, but you mentioned that was one of the things that you had to deal with. So what did you end up, creating as your laser focus? Like, if someone goes to your page, what are you hoping that they're gaining from a snapshot, right? They're in your page from like after 10 seconds. What are you hoping that they're gaining from that first couple seconds?
That I'm the content creating dude. Right. Right. You know what I'm saying? Anything that you need as far as content creation, from creating it to clarifying your message, like I'm that dude. And for me, what I had to do was, to be honest, I'm gonna be honest, this was the most difficult thing that I had to do. Posting just for the sake of posting is not helping you. Every single time that you post, you have to have some sort of strategy. And I actually had to get a mentor who actually pulled me to the side, was like, look, you posting dope content, but what? For what? Like, why did you post that? What was your thought process behind that? What do you want from that post? So I would challenge us that when we are posting, we ask ourselves what it is that we want from that post. What is it? Come into posting it with a strategy as to what it is that I'm trying to display. What am I trying to communicate with my audience, right? What am I trying to communicate with my potential customer? You got to get laser focused. So for me, I realized that I was just, as you kind of you alluded to, Queen, I was just posting just because somebody said you got to post 3 to 5 times a day, so I'm just posting because I'm supposed to be posting, right? But I wasn't getting any engagement. I wasn't seeing any real growth, and it got extremely disappointing to me, and also discouraging, to the point where for a very long time I stopped posting altogether. Because I'm like, yo, I'm doing what these gurus are saying to do, posting 3 times a day and all of this, but I'm not seeing any fruit from it, right? So it was then, and thank God for my mentor, shout out to Marcus Y. Rozier. He was like, bro, like, you're dope with creating content. Why don't you make that your lane, and all you talk about is creating content? Because once he realized, when he learned that I do on my own graphics, I do on my own editing and all of that, he was like, yo, this is what you do. Get in that lane and teach people how to do what you do. And I was like, okay. And that's what I did. So I narrowed down my focus, I narrowed down my messaging, and I got clear on who it was that I was talking to. And then that opened up the Pandora's box for creating content. That's why I say now, creating content is light work. Creating content is light work. And I want us to say that to ourselves every time we get discouraged. What we have to realize is that content is simply the vehicle by which you communicate your message, you communicate your service, and the solution that you have to somebody's problem. You're the creative engine. The content needs you, right? The content needs you. So we get intimidated by this idea of content, and what I personally work through as well with my clients is getting out of their heads in regards to, like, no, content is not the boogeyman. The content needs you. You have expertise, you have experience. you have expertise, you have experience, and you have been able to, and you have a solution to somebody's problem. So all you're doing is taking what you already know and you're packaging it in this tool called content. So,
Right.
so we don't want content. I don't want content to be something that we're intimidated by. I want us to realize that content is light work and content needs us.
You know, I want to agree with you, but I be struggling sometimes. I be struggling. So I'm trying to get to where you're at, where
Yeah.
content creation is just this light work. But
You struggle.
I do struggle on. So I think I'm where you may have been like last year, where it's
Okay.
like I'm posting different stuff. Like I have my inspirational posts. The purpose of it is just to inspire. I feel like I probably need to laser that down a little bit. I have the posts where I'm like reposting other black businesses to show that love. I have the game posts, which are very clear, very intentional, but I don't think there's a laser focus, right? I think it's a little spread out there. Same thing with TH4. So for looking at our platforms, POP, what would you say we should do to get better at being laser focused? Right? Like,
So,
if there's activities, if there's questions we should be asking ourselves, insights we should be looking at, just anything you feel like if we were your client, you'd be like, hey, do these things, that'll get you on track.
Got you. Great question. So there's three questions that I asked that I have my client work through. Is who are you talking to? Very first thing is who are you talking to, right? The second thing is what is their pain or pleasure point? What is their pain or pleasure point, right? What are they struggling with? What are they trying to, where are they trying to get to? You begin to kind of narrow down what that person needs, right? Or that group of people that you're speaking to needs. Number three is what solution do you have to cure that pain point or to provide that pleasure? Okay. So those are the three questions that you have to work through. And the reason why these are important is because once you can identify who it is that you're talking to, then you can begin to build out or figure out how you want to build a relationship with them. And you build that relationship with them through your content, right? Then what you also do is when you have identified their pain and their pleasure point, you know exactly where you can meet them, right? You know exactly what they're going through. You take the time to actually get to know, to fall in love with the individual, fall in love with the audience that you're speaking to, right? Then once you're able to fall in love with them and you care, right? And you begin to think about, okay, these are their pain, these are their pleasure points. Then you can relate that to the solution that you have to their problem. And what you're then doing is you're using your content to show that you have the solution to their problem. You're using your content to show that, hey, look, I know you. I know what you're dealing with. I know what you're going through. And look, I got content right here that is showing you very specifically that I'm talking to you first. Mm-hmm. And I care about you enough to know your pain and pleasure point, and I'm providing a solution to be able to do that. So what I would say is you have to work through those questions. You have to work through those questions. And the reason why it's important to work through those questions, because if not, shout out to my homegirl, Coach Jamie. She said to me, when you're talking to, because one of the things that I struggle with was talking to everybody. I felt, hey man, what I got, I could talk to everybody and it's all good. She said, if you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. If you're talking to everybody, then you're talking to nobody. So you have to identify. And plus, and here it is. I'll shut my mouth.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
What I realized in it, think about this. I realized that I was selfish in that approach because I was sacrificing the people who actually needed to hear my message. I was sacrificing them for this idea that I can serve everybody, right? So I'm feeding people who may not necessarily like the food that I got, but there's specific people who like exactly what I'm offering, the food that I got, but I'm feeding everybody else, right? Neglecting them when they actually need what I have. So the beauty of focusing your attention and the beauty of being crystal clear about who you're talking to is that you're beginning to feed the people who actually need what you have.
So I want to stay right here in this pocket. Right? Okay. I want to stay right here. How do you know who you want to feed versus who really needs that food? You know, like if I'm building my customer avatar, I may say I want to feed black homeschooling families, right? But how do I know that the food that I'm giving is actually what they want? Or more specifically, like for health, for example, I feel like there's so many different avenues that you can go for health. But how do you really find that lane? Do you just you make it the lane, or are there like checks and balances that you can do along the way?
So let's take 9 to 5 creator for instance. So 9 to 5 creator, I'm a 9 to 5, I'm a 9 to 5 worker trying to transition into entrepreneurship, right? Leveraging social media to do so.
Yep.
So what I started to do is, okay, because I'm a 9 to 5 worker, right? Because I'm a 9 to 5 worker and I'm trying to create content, what are some of the pitfalls that I've fallen into? What are some of the issues that I'm finding myself bumping into? What are some of the hindrances that I've had trying to build this platform or trying to figure out how to create content, trying to figure out what kind of content to create? What are some of those things for me? And I've taken those things because I can speak to those things because I've been through them. So basically what I've done is I've taken my own experience and my own journey and I've packaged that into content. Why? I'm not the only one that's going through that, right? I'm not the only one that's going through that. I'm not the only one who has either gone through these particular things or are currently going through them. Because what you'll find and what I found is, particularly with my clients, I'm literally teaching people who once were where I was.
Facts.
So all I'm basically doing is I'm taking you, if I'm at C, I'm basically teaching you how to get from where I was to where I am. And so when you begin to think about what if as far as health is concerned, okay, what were some of the struggles that you had in your own personal health? What were some of the issues that you had as far as changing your diet or exercise or whatever like that? What were some of those issues that you bumped into, right? Some of those brick walls that you ran into that you were able to overcome. How were you able to overcome them? Right? What did you have to get a mentor? Did you have to get somebody? Did you have to get an accountability group? Like, what were some of those things that helped you overcome those things? And what you're then doing is you're then now packaging that and you're using that as content. You're now telling, okay, this is what I did to get from point A to point B or from point A to point C. That's all you're doing. We are simply taking our customer or taking our audience on the journey from where we were to where we are now. We don't have to overcomplicate this thing. What was it that you found yourself struggling with, and how did you overcome it? And you share that with your audience.
Look, we're going to rewatch this one for sure. Right? I've been taking notes, but I feel like this is one of those rewinders. Queen, before I hog the mic, do you have a follow-up question you want to throw? Good. Okay. So let's take a little bit of a deep dive, and where we were already in some deep waters right there, right? We were already swimming with the fishes right there, but let's go down a little bit further where the fish are now. What's it called?
Sharks.
Ooh, no, let's stay away from the sharks. But where you go deep down, and with Nemo, and now the fish have lights.
Oh yeah,
the neofluorescent fish, right? But anyway, let me stop nerding out. You already talked about content strategy.
Yeah.
Right. So can you take a little bit of a deep dive into how does one create a content strategy? I think there are people out there that may think they have a strategy, but it may not be a full holistic strategy. So what are those maybe components to a content creating strategy?
That's dope. So I would say prioritize. So the first thing that you got to do is prioritize. What is going to be your bread and butter message? What is your bread and butter message, right? And you get super clear on what your bread and butter message is going to be. Once you are clear on what your bread and butter message is going to be, because I get a lot of people that say, oh, well, I want to do fashion and I want to do this and then I want to do that. And that's cool. That's fine. If all of that is kind of encompassed in the brand that you're creating, that's fine. But at some point in time, you have to focus on one thing. You got to prioritize what it is that you want to put out there first. So the first thing I would say is you have to prioritize. So whatever your bread and butter message is going to be, that's what you begin to build your content around. This is what I do as far as trying to figure out what to post. when you're clear on what your message is, what you do is and we go back to our 3 questions. Who is it that you're talking to? What is their pain and pleasure point? What solution that you solve for that? Do you have for to solve that problem or to provide that pleasure? Right. You take those, and what you do is you begin to interview yourself. So once you've built out your client avatar, you interview yourself. What would that client avatar ask you? What are some of the questions that they have? What are some of where they are? What could you provide them that's going to help them get over that particular hurdle? Mm-hmm. And so what that allows you to do is that allows you to, by prioritizing, that allows you again to be able to build content out around a single idea that you could that you can put on social media, that you could put in your content, so people will be able to identify who you are and again what it is that you provide. So I would say the first thing for when you're developing your content strategy is you have to prioritize your bread and butter message, and then begin to build out content around that bread and butter message. So my bread and butter message is content creation, right? So I'm teaching you how to, and right now I'm really focused on you clarifying your message, because a lot of people just don't have a clear message, right? And because they don't have a clear message, that's when you get bogged down in the, man, what to post. You get bogged down into that because you may not necessarily have a clear message on what it is that you want to communicate, right? So once you clarify that message, then you could begin to build your content around it. And that's why I say content is light work. They say that content is king. And I said, well, okay, then that means clarity is queen. Because you can't have content that's fire if you don't have no clarity, right?
The funny thing is, sorry to cut you off, POP.
No, you're good.
Literally, the queen back in the day when she used to drop bars, her rap name was Clarity.
Oh, that's dope.
That's the funny thing. She got clarity on the beat. That's
dope.
It was literally for one class project. I regret every moment of it because nobody told me
bars.
Anyways, that my bar didn't make sense.
The bars don't got to clarity on the beat. See, I
love it.
Real quick follow up, and Queen, feel free, but that messaging, is that clear message the same or a derivative of your mission statement, or maybe a slogan that you have, or is it completely separate from those?
So your messaging is what I like to call your brand promise, is who you help and what you help them do. Who you help and what you help them do. That's your brand promise, right? You don't when you're talking, you don't want slogans, you don't want things along those lines, because oftentimes those things are unclear. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, your brand promise is clear. So I teach busy 9-to-5 aspiring entrepreneurs how to create quality content to build an additional stream of income for their personal brand or business. Boom. It's very clear who I work with. It's very clear who I'm talking to. Very clear what service I provide. So when you're talking about your messaging, you have to be very clear about your messaging. And I suggest when you're clear on that, this is what you put in your bio.
I was just about to ask, is this your bio statement that I see pretty much? I mean, any type of coach, having their bio statement, I am this person and I help this person this way.
Yep. And that's exactly correct, Queen. Yep. So that's what you're going to put in your bio, because when people drop on your page, they want to know again that you're talking to them, right? Mm-hmm. If an aspiring busy 9-to-5 working aspiring entrepreneur lands on my page, oh, this is home for me, because he helps me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's not so your messaging has to be clear, but also what it helps you to do, again, it helps you to be able to focus your content, right? If I'm very clear on who I help and what I help them do, then again, think about the freedom that you now have when you're creating your content. You're not talking about anything other than who you help and what you help them do. Those are only two things that you're talking about, right? My mentor, he said this year for 2022, all he's talking about is faith and funnels. He's a pastor, faith and funnels. Those are only two things that he's talking about, right? And if you look at his page, that's all he's talking about is faith and funnels. You know what I'm saying? So this is what we have to do. Again, We're not talking to everybody. That's not our goal. Our goal is not to talk to everybody. And that was difficult for me because I thought I could talk to everybody. That's not our goal. Our goal is to talk to the people who need to be fed by what we have.
Mm-hmm. Man, did you have all this information when we interviewed you part one? We didn't get none of this in part one.
Yeah, I had to learn it, bro. I had to learn it. This you seen the evolution of POP, man. The evolution of me, man.
I love it. And I also love how as you learn, as you elevate, like you were saying, like A, B, C, D, E, like the letter that you go, you now can teach more people those steps that you did. So the fact that, you know, part one, you had some information, you gave us that. Now you're coming back for part two as you've evolved, and now you're able to, you know, pour into our cup. Now we can evolve. People that are listening can evolve. They can share this with their friends. So I love that for sure. Queen, go ahead.
So you have your message.
Yep.
You've got your audience. You know who you're talking to. Now, one of my biggest struggles is how do you stay consistent?
Good question, Queen. Okay. All right. So there's a few different ways. So what I recommend, one of the things that I do is I bunch create or batch create, right? So I create a number of different things. So I set in, if it's a day, you know, if it's a Monday, and I say, okay, from this time to this time, I'm knocking out content, whether that's reels, whether that's carousel posts, whatever like that. What you can do in order to stay consistent, one of the things that I would say is you have to create at your own pace. So if you say, I'm going to post once a day, that's fine. You have to post once a day, right? Every single day. Okay. And you have to stay committed to that pace. Once you're ready to level up, you level up. We make a mistake of thinking that we got to go all in and we got to be posting 10 times a day. No. And on top of that, we have this notion that we have to create something brand new and out the box every single time. We don't have to do that. So let me give you some game.
Oh, give it to us. Oh, we here.
Let me tell you what I do. Say I do a video post, and in my video in the caption of my video post, I lay out, 4 steps to whatever it is that I spoke about in the video. I'll take the caption from that video and I'll create a carousel post out of it.
Oh yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? I create a carousel post out of it. Or with that video, if I drop the bar, I'll take that bar and then I'll create a quote post out of it. You know what I'm saying? You could open, if it's Instagram, you can go into your stories and you could just make a black background and type out that quote, and that's a post. You feel what I'm saying? What we have to understand is that creating content does not have to be this elaborate ordeal or undertaking, right? So if you set your pace and you say, I'm going to post once a day, whatever it is that you post, what you do is you figure out how to maximize that post. I call it milking the content. Okay. That's what I call it milking the content for everything you do. And what that allows you to do, Queen, is that allows you to be consistent, not just with your posting, but also with your message. Because if you're creating, let's say, a piece of video and you're grabbing a quote out of it, you're grabbing a carousel post from your caption, right? Even if you're going to do a sound bite for it, whatever that is, you could literally create a theme for that particular week and say, this is what I'm going to be talking about this week. And what I do is I actually write a little diagram. I put up a little diagram and I have like reels, carousels, video post, right? My theme is this. And I say, okay, in this reel, I'm going to talk about this. In my carousel post, I'm going to talk about that. In the video post, I'm going to talk about this. And I'm going to grab quotes out of this particular video. So literally, I'm not creating a whole lot of content. I'm creating maybe 2 or 3 pieces of content. And I'm grabbing everything. I'm milking it for everything it's worth. And that right there, and that could be a week's worth of content right there, depending on how often you're posting. If you post them once a day, that could be more than a week's worth of content. You know what I'm saying? If you posting twice a day, it might meet you a week. But listen, in order to be consistent, don't overthink it. If you're already creating the content once, figure out how you can multiply that thing over and over and over again. And that's going to help you to be consistent. And that's also going to help you to also not just be consistent in your posting, but most of all, most consistent in your messaging.
Love it. And I think we are growing into that now. Like, we're learning how to take clips from the podcast, right? We're taking quotes from here. We're making reels from here. We're making minute-long videos from here, because we do this every week. Right. And I think we're trying to get better at this. Like the Queen just said that she's going to do a new segment. What's your segment about to be called, Queen?
Did you know?
Let's go.
Go ahead and explain this segment. You got a live coach right here. Go ahead.
So basically, I want to create a segment here where I talk about, anything from sleep to stress management to, exercising, movement, because those are like all going into like physical health, all things that have to do with weight loss, which is kind of my niche that I'm trying to create make for myself. All of those have to deal with weight loss. So yes, creating a new segment called Did You Know, where I'll spit a little bit of game about, sharing a different fact, a different research study, a different habit, all these things that can be useful for folks who are trying to get healthy, but more specifically trying to lose weight.
That sounds super clear, Queen. That sounds super clear to me. So you got a target to hit like that. That sounds dope. That sounds dope. And then you build and then you could build content around that segment.
That's where the idea came from.
Yeah, you built
like laziness, where I was like, I want to create like a video and a post from something, but like I don't want to have to create a new video every week when we already sit here every week and do this. So why not just do it right here, where I can just take the content from this conversation right here and make a video of it, then make a carousel, and then make a reel, like all these things from that one Did You Know, each week.
And that's what I call milking the content. Milk that content. Absolutely. I love it.
You said oat milk.
And you get oat milk, that boy. There you go.
There you go. Milk those oats. So I think right now we've been very zoomed in, at least from the language that we're using on Instagram. Is that the platform that you recommend for most of your clients, or how do you help them choose like which platform to use or which platform not to use? Because honestly, a lot of people have been like, oh, Devon, you need to get on TikTok, or Truvel Forever, y'all need to get on TikTok. I'm just like, I'm not trying to get on TikTok. Oh, you need to be in Clubhouse. You need to be on Clubhouse.
Clubhouse?
What is it called? Clubhouse, right?
I don't
Clubhouse,
know.
Yeah, Clubhouse.
I've just heard this before my life.
Yes.
Yes, Clubhouse. Yep.
But yeah, how do you help your clients choose which, I guess, medium is right for them, or which platform is right for their message?
That's dope. So for me, I primarily work on Instagram because of the versatility of it. I love the versatility of Instagram because it's a one-stop shop for basically everything that you're trying to do, whether that's pictures, whether that's video, and of course, with reels, and then also I think they extended out to like minute stories. So they're constantly expanding the platform. Ultimately, once you're clear again, and I think this comes back to full circle as far as your clarity. Once you kind of understand who it is that you're talking to and who it is that you want to reach, then you can begin to do the research on the demographics on these platforms that are going that where the people that you want to talk to are. So for me, Instagram works best for me because the people who I want to talk to are on Instagram. I'm going to make, I got a bunch of videos that I'm actually going to be making the transition over to YouTube heavy as well, because I got a whole bunch of stuff that, I've been playing. I've been slowly but surely migrating over there. So this year, definitely, I'm definitely going to make a push for YouTube heavy. But so to your question, I recommend whatever. I don't recommend spreading yourself thin over 1,000 different platforms. I don't. That's just I don't recommend that. I've done that. I was on not TikTok, but no, I think I was on TikTok, and then I was on Snapchat, and then I was on Instagram, and then I was on Facebook, and I was like, yo, nah, I'm good. Nah, master where you are. And then if you decided, if there's something that you're offering, or you see that, or even you see that you're audience is shifting, or you want to even serve a different audience, and that different audience is on a different platform, then cool. Then that's one thing. But I say master where you are, whatever the platform is that works best for you and where your people are. Rock with that. Become super consistent there. Feed your flock there, and then and really kind of master that and level that up before you look into to spreading yourself too thin.
Nice.
So if you prefer one platform, but you know your people may be on another, then you gotta make that change, don't you?
You gotta make that change.
Hey.
Yeah, you gotta make that change. You gotta do it. And that to be honest with you, and that's why I'm not taking, like, Instagram is my hub, but I'm going to be going over to YouTube, because I got a lot of long form stuff that I'm sitting on, because the reels and stuff like that, Instagram is giving priority to that. So, but with YouTube, the long form, and it lasts forever. You know what I'm saying? So I'm now in the process of just kind of learning how to master that platform. But then, it's just going to be YouTube. It's just going to be YouTube and Instagram. That's all I'm dealing with right now.
Yeah. Honestly, you already got that YouTuber swag.
Appreciate it.
You look like a YouTuber, right? You already there, man.
Appreciate it.
Of course. Maybe last question before we take a ask declare break, where you get to ask us any question about relationship history, about business, about health. It's all up to you. But before we get there, quality over quantity, does that still hold in social media? Like, is it better to post maybe one time a week, once a day, and it's just a fire, very thought out, very specific post? Or is it better you're posting 3, 4, 5 times a day or a week, but they're like, they cool posts, but they're not like hitters?
Yeah. So it really depends. If you're having difficulty creating content and just kind of being kind of building your confidence, you got to throw those jabs, right? In that particular case, I would say definitely quantity over quality, because what's going to end up happening is that the quantity is going to lead up to the quality. Oftentimes and again, once we got a strategy behind our content and behind what it is that we're trying to do, we got to get it out there. You got to get your reps up. You got to get your shots up. Me personally, like, I had to be there. I had to get to the, I had to post 3-5 times a day and realize, oh shoot, like this is crazy. But what ends up happening is that it has allowed me to be able to now be very, very, very clear and very, very confident in the content that I'm willing to put up. So what I would say is, if you're just trying to build up your body of work, get them reps in. Throw them jabs before you throw them haymakers. You know what I'm saying? Yep. You got to throw them jabs and set up for that quality content, because what's going to end up happening, you'll find. And then of course you can look at your analytics and things along those lines, see what's hitting, see what's not hitting, so that this way you can begin to reproduce the stuff that's hitting. You know what I'm saying? So oftentimes we spend all of this time, and I was guilty. You spend all this time, this joint is going to be fire. You post it, you get one view.
Yep.
You know, and then the joint that you spent no time, like, let me just post, that joint goes crazy. You know what I'm saying? So the reality of it is that there's really no formula. You don't know what's going to hit and not going to hit. So you get your reps up, get your shots up, get them jabs in, and then this way you can allow your audience to let you know what's hitting, what's not hitting. Let your analytics and your insights tell you what's hitting and is not hitting, and then you could create more on the stuff that's actually hitting, and you can scale back on the stuff that's not.
So I'm so sorry, because I lied, because what you said sparked another question. I did.
Okay, that's all good.
But in that vein, because I have things that I spend a lot of time posting, and they'll get like a few thousand views on reels, but I repost someone else's reel and I'll get like 50K, 100K views. Yeah. So can you talk about posting original content versus reposting content that maybe is in line, it is in messaging, but it's not yours? Is there I guess a cost benefit analysis for that?
Well, shout out to Marty Woodard. This dude is a surgeon with the content, but he talks about his 3 C's, and one of the C's that he has is curate. You create and you curate. You curate content, and that's basically what you're talking about, curating content. And it's good. It's a good thing. It's a good thing, particularly again if you're clear. And if you're clear on what it is that you're doing and who it is that you're talking to, if that content that you're curating, right? Of course, giving credit to the creator. If you're curating that content and you're using it on your page and it aligns with your messaging and it could be beneficial to your people, absolutely use it. So what I recommend, what I caution to be careful of is that you don't want to do that so much that you lose you. Right. So people are coming to your page to now see the repurposed content of somebody else. Right. And you drown out your own individuality. You drown out yourself as being the actual solution to the problem. So I don't mind you doing it every so often, but I don't recommend you do it so often that you lose who you are in it.
That's good. That's good. Okay. Appreciate you. Thank you for rocking with my last minute question in there.
No doubt.
If you're just tuning in, we got I am _P.O.P. I am POP in the house, the 9-to-5 content creator, helping 9-to-5ers create content and freedom for themselves and for their families. Definitely make sure y'all tap in, like, follow, and tap into the wisdom. So going into our new segment. This is the first time we're trying it, POP. We trust you. Okay. But this is the Ask Declare segment. We did a nice little live the other day with Upu Alofa. Shout out to Overland and the BU family. But we did a nice live just talking through our relationship, talking through some experiences. And we got a lot of love from that. All right. So we want to see how can we bring in that energy, those frequencies into the actual podcast. So this is your opportunity to ask us any questions, again, about the relationship, about health, about business. Open table. Go ahead and hit it.
Okay. All right. So as far as your health journey, was it with your health journey, like, together? Was it something that you were both on board with at the same time? Or was it something that one of you said, okay, I want to do this, and it kind of took the other to kind of follow suit slowly?
Yeah.
Queen.
For us, luckily, it was pretty much at the same time. We started our health journeys, together. We do most things together. So we started this health journey together. Now, I will say, like, at the very, very beginning, like the very first, like, big jump we took was, limiting the amount of, like, I'll say land meat. So we went like pescatarian for a couple years, and he actually made that jump first.
Okay.
It was only a matter of maybe a couple of weeks, but he started it and he was like, "Oh, I feel good." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and try it." And then, I tried it, and then we did it together for pretty much the rest of the time. But it really depends on what the action or because our health journey, it's been like so many different things that we've experimented with, as we've tried. We've changed our diet a couple times. It's ever evolving, as anybody's health journey should be. So, like, more recently, we started a 90-day health journey where we cut out a lot of, like, things that are,
everything. Cut out.
We didn't cut out everything. So we got more lenient with some things, like with meat, but then we also got a little more stringent on some other things, like sugar, like gluten, like soy. I think those are the main things.
Those are the main ones. Yeah. Alcohol, no more wine.
Right. None of it. So yeah, and for that, like, I initiated that because that's something that I was doing personally as a part of my own health coaching journey. I was being my own client, so I just took him along with me because why not? Plus, I'm the main chef in the household, so it's like, you don't really have an option.
See how she hold me hostage, bro?
I love it.
Yeah, no.
I love it.
Want to eat?
It really, like I said, it really does depend on whatever it is. Because I think, like, if you think about, like, yoga, meditation, like, he was more into that stuff before I was, because he's a little bit more, like, in tune with his own spirits, his own energies, than I am. So I learn a lot from him in that way. So it really depends. Like, on the diet stuff, typically I'm the initiator. On, like, spiritual energies related stuff, typically he's the initiator. So it really does
love it.
depend. But at the end of the day, like, we're on this journey together.
Right.
I love it. I love
And
it. It's
if I
powerful.
can sprinkle in a little Himalayan salt there, I would say I
I
wasn't a
love
big
it.
I wasn't a big vegetable person prior to 2011.
This
Right.
man.
I really didn't rock with vegetables like that. French fries, ketchup.
He's like, oh, I'm eating two vegetables.
For
Got
sure.
potatoes and tomatoes.
That was my vibe. But yeah, through the hell journey, I feel like the biggest change that I see is I will actively eat vegetables now. I will actively want to drink juices and all that good stuff. So
That's
yeah,
what's up.
been it's been a journey for sure.
I dig
Um
it.
all right, while we're on this health vibe, I think there is a lot of talk around social media and mental health, right?
Mhm.
Or
Mhm.
even self-worth, self-love, value, all of that stuff. So can you maybe give, your own perspective on how entrepreneurs or people in general, right, as they're posting, as they're stepping into YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, what is a healthy way to make sure you're posting, but you're not attaching your value, right?
Mhm.
How you
Mm.
see yourself and how you think other people see you on those likes, on those comments.
That's good. Yeah, listen, social media is not real life,
Mhm.
right? Social media is not real life, right? You know what I mean? You are an individual. You are a very unique individual. You have something phenomenal to offer to the world. So what I would say is, when you're posting your content, understand again, you're offering a solution to somebody's problem. And as well, as long as you keep that in mind, then I think it's going to help you to have a healthy perspective on when you're posting. But also, if you feel yourself kind of getting bogged down, disconnect. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? If you got to come off of social, you got to come off of social. And what you can do is if you use a platform like Later, Later, or you do Facebook Creator Studio, those things allow you to post. They allow you to schedule your post, right? So you can actually schedule your post in ahead of time. So if you're like, listen, I just need to take a break, I need to disconnect, but you still want to post, right? Schedule your post and just let these platforms go ahead and schedule the post for you, and you take some mental health time.
Yeah.
You take some mental health time because I see it a lot. Comparison, right? And they say comparison is a thief of joy. And a lot of people are feeling as if they're not adequate, or they're feeling as if they're not good enough because they're looking around them, and they're seeing the highlights of somebody else's life and saying, man, how come that ain't my life? Well, guess what? It's probably not their life either. It's probably not their life either. So look, so who you are, your mental health, your overall health is the most important thing. And so, social media will be there. So you do what you have to do, you post, but if you feel yourself getting overwhelmed and you got to take a break, take a break.
That was a good word. He said it's probably not their real life either.
Facts.
Nope.
That was a heavy hitter. Okay, we're almost done. A lot of great wisdom on here, man. Very happy that you were able to come back, and we appreciate the nuggets. Can we talk about maybe one or two practical steps, right? If everyone listening, they have a business, or maybe they're thinking about a business, they're trying to create their strategy. What are really just one or two takeaways that they can do within the next 5 to 7 days, right,
Mhm.
to get rolling?
All right, I'm going to take it all the way back. I'm going to take it all the way back. We got to get clear. All right, work through these three questions. Who it is that who do you talk to? What is their pain and pleasure point? And what solution do you have to either solve that problem or provide that pleasure? Work through those three questions, right? Once you work through those and you have solid answers for those things, then you're going to start building your content around those answers.
Love it. Answer those three questions. Easy work, or what do you say? Light work. There we go.
Light
Mhm.
work.
Mhm.
Creating
Appreciate it.
content is light work. Yep. That's right. That's right.
So do you have any courses, free or paid resources that people can really tap into in order to get even more of this content creation wisdom?
Absolutely. So right now I actually have a bundle that I'm actually going to be launching this week, as a matter of fact. So I have a bundle of 4 trainings that and is teaching you how to create video content with confidence. What I call the milk method. That milk method strategy is actually a strategy, content repurposing strategy that I use. I got a training on that. I also have a training on how to create attractive borders and to help you, excuse me, be able to make your social media content pop using Canva. And I also have another training on I have another training. I got a bunch of trainings, right? I got a bunch of trainings, but I'm actually working through my course right now. I'm actually building out a course at this time. And actually in January, I'm launching a 4-week boot camp where you will work one-on-one with me. 4 weeks for 4 weeks, and everything that we talked about here, I'm helping you build out your clear messaging, who it is that you're talking to. I'm helping you ask these questions, and I'm also helping you build out your content around that. So I'm super excited about that, to be able to work with some folks one-on-one, because I do a lot of the trainings, and it's more so of a group, but I'm like, okay, you know what, let me go ahead and just really pour into some folks. But because it's only me, it's going to be very limited as far as the space, but definitely look for that.
Love it. Is there, I'm just rocking with you, right? I'm riffing. You
Yeah.
can riff on back. Is there any way we can get a TH4 discount for our listeners on this bundle or on this courses? What's up?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
We go chop it up. We'll do some posts. Y'all heard it here first. We go get some good stuff, right? Come on now.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go.
Okay, we gonna get you in the class. We'll get me in the class. And then we gonna get some more. That's love. All right. Any other just announcements or one last nugget of wisdom you want to leave folks before we go into updates? And you're always welcome to give the updates as well. But we're gonna give it to you first. We're gonna let you do your updates or anything else you got before we kick ours off.
Okay. Yeah. I just want to say this. I just want to ask the question. So many people come. So many people come. I get DMs and people hit me up. Man, yo, P. I'm just not good at creating content. And my question to them is, who told you that? Did Instagram hit you up? Did they DM you that, hey, listen, your content is terrible?
Hey, you tried.
I don't want you to post that, right? Like don't, like, you know what I'm saying? Is it the internet that told you that? More than likely it's not. We have put that on ourselves, that limited belief on ourselves.
Yeah.
So the reason why I say content is light work is because you are good at it. You are good at creating content. You are good at creating content. No one has told you that you're not. You have told yourself that. So I want us to get out of this mindset, and that's why when I'm interviewed, or when I'm working with a client, or when I come in for a group, I say, yo, content is light work. Content is light work, because I want us to get out of this idea that you're not good at creating content. And once you can kind of get out of your own head, the sky's the limit.
Boom, there it is. Make sure y'all go support brother I am _POP. Go ahead and get yourself some content, man. Queen. Updates for the week. You got anything you want to share with the folks?
Yes. This upcoming week, I will be opening up again for free health coaching sessions.
Hey.
So, hey, so yes, definitely go and grab your free 30-minute health coaching session. We gonna talk. We're gonna talk about some stuff. We're gonna talk about diet. We're gonna talk about sleep. We're gonna talk about stress. We're gonna talk about everything, because it's all very important to one's physical health, one's mental health, one's spiritual health. So yes, and you will walk away with some recommendations, on how you can accomplish whatever health goal you have, whether that's more energy, whether that's weight loss, whether that's just feeling better in general. I could help you get there. All you got to do is book a free 30-minute session. So definitely look out for that on the, boom. Health coaching is also available, coaching at truehealthforever.com. But yes, go to the truehealthforever.com website where you'll be able to book your free 30-minute health coaching session.
Beautiful. Go ahead, invest in your life, invest in your body, right? For me, we are going to Ghana at the end of the year.
Dope.
That's exciting. We're still, a little stressed out getting this visa back in time, but everything else is good to go. And we were very juiced to finally take that trip back to the motherland, back home. We also were featured in Essence magazine 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's dope. That's what's up.
That was beautiful. I actually had sent me that AJ from Santa Barbara. He sent me that. He was like, did you know you were featuring Essence? I was like, quit playing, bro. He was like, yeah, man, my mom just sent me this link. And he sent it to me. I was like, hey, let's go. Oh, so that was a pleasant surprise. And we definitely saw a little bit of an uptick. So definitely make sure if you don't have your game yet, get yourself a board game. Go to playblackwallstreet.com. Brother POP, he got his second edition right there.
Hey.
Right there. Legendary. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. And that's one of the videos that you can put on your amazing YouTube channel if it's not already there. Yeah. What else went down? Of course, we got the new Rodecaster Pro in here. I don't know if y'all heard the crispiness in the audio this episode. Hopefully you did. But
absolutely,
we're investing in the podcast, taking it to the next level, whole nother level. Right? Do it in here. And then last but not least, we are open to business coaching as well. I'm actually not going to do the content creating side of it. So if you're looking for content creation, you need to go and sign up with I Am POP. That's going to be your man right there. If you need help getting your concept right from an idea into an actual business, if you help going through those 7 steps on how to launch your business, how to find your customer segment, how to create your MVP, minimum viable product, I can definitely support you there. And then once we get you up and running and you need to promote your business, you need to create your brand, you need to do some more marketing, I'm going to go ahead and pass the baton over to IMPOP. But if you want to get that introductory, go ahead and email us at coaching@playblackwallstreet.com and we can get y'all set up. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm feeling good about this episode, right? POP, you did your thing. You gave a lot of nuggets. I appreciate that. Yeah, of course, we got to have you back for a third time when you get to I don't know what letter you're truthfully on, but when you get to like RST, we'll come on back so you can
come on back. I got you. I got you.
That's love. All right, beautiful people. As usual, thank you for tuning in to the True Health Forever podcast, where we try to live our best life and through the lens of holistic health. I'm your host, Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game.
I'm Sinclair, aka the Health Nerd.
We hope y'all stay healthy. We hope y'all stay mentally wealthy. And of course, we hope y'all stay true.